You have ongoing aches and pains in your body. Maybe you're wondering why inflammation occurs in the body. To begin with, we know that certain things can trigger inflammation, but what is it actually there for? What is it supposed to do? And how is it actually being triggered? My name is Dr. Taranella, and in this video, we're going to look at this topic about inflammation and further our discussion on inflammation and some of the things behind inflammation. And my hope is in giving you this information, it will kind of expand your awareness and understanding of what inflammation is. So if you like this kind of information on nutrition, health, hormones, and really just trying to expand your understanding and awareness on your health, click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this one. Now, for a quick disclaimer, the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It's not intended as a treatment for any health condition or as a substitute for seeing an actual doctor or medical professional. It should be used as an educational guide to deeper your understanding of your own health and treatment success. If medical attention is needed, don't delay in seeking that attention. All right, let's look at why inflammation occurs in the body. So we want to look at why inflammation occurs in the body to begin with. And it turns out that inflammation occurs as a protection or repair process as a result of some kind of tissue damage or pathogen exposure. So if we didn't have this cascade of immune events known as inflammation, pathogens would go unchecked and damaged tissues would go unrepaired. That means you might have a tissue injury, like say tennis elbow, and it never actually repairs. You just walk around with that for the rest of your life. That would suck. Also, if you get invaded by some sort of bacteria or virus, that virus would just go unchecked in our bodies and we probably wouldn't live very long lives. So that's kind of the more basic why. So now I want to go into a little bit more detail on some of the mechanisms or things behind this inflammation. And with acute inflammation, immune cells referred to as innate immune cells can detect or pick up what's called damage-associated molecular patterns. They're basically small little fragments or proteins from any tissue damage around the local environment where those innate immune cells are hanging out. Once those cells detect that damage associated molecular pattern, it triggers this cascade of events we know as inflammation. And built within that is the repair process for the tissue damage that's being detected. Similar process happens with pathogens. These same innate immune cells and other immune cells have big receptors on their surface, pattern recognition receptors that are common to pathogens. So the pathogens have certain proteins in their molecular makeup, and the innate immune cells have a common receptor for some of those proteins that are common to all pathogens. And those are known as pathogen-associated molecular patterns, or PAMPs for short. So when those are detected by the immune cells, those also initiate a cascade of events that encourage more white blood cells to go to the area, different cytokines to be released, all in the hopes or in the effort to isolate that pathogen, remove it from the area, or at least protect the surrounding tissues from having that pathogen invade other tissues. So all that cascade of events that happen when we have a tissue injury or we're sick with a microbial infection of some kind, that cascade of events that occurs is the inflammation. As the chemicals and corresponding activity of the immune cells progress, that's sort of what we feel in our bodies as inflammation. So that's more the acute scenario with inflammation. And chronic inflammation follows a similar pattern of immune activation with some differences. The main thing is that the cause can often be ongoing, and that cause is often unknown. We mentioned some of the common causes for chronic inflammation in previous videos, but those would be things like visceral obesity, so increased fat inside your abdomen where the visceral organs are, lack of physical exercise, smoking, certain diet habits, toxins, all these things that we've all heard before cause inflammation. That chronic exposure leads to chronic inflammatory chemicals being produced by your body and chronic activation of the immune cells. With that chronic immune activation, sometimes there's collateral tissue damage or functionality changes in tissues as a result of that inflammation. Just like a lot of people have heard with acute infections like COVID, you get lung damage and sometimes kidney damage and heart damage and vessel damage. And that's not due to the COVID itself per se, sometimes just a result of the excessive immune activation that happens from such a strong infection. Similarly, with low grade ongoing inflammation, you can also get some tissue damage. So sometimes what's intended as a protective mechanism for the body can inconsequentially end up hurting certain areas of the body. So this leads to the more obvious question is how do we shut down or how do we get that inflammatory process to shut off? Is there something going on that prevents the immune system, the immune cells from turning down or slowing down the inflammatory process? And that's what we're going to look at in the next video. Of course, when there's ongoing things going on, we want to shut it off. Once those things leave the body, if there's still ongoing inflammation going on, which can happen, how do our bodies go about shutting that process off or down regulating that immune activity? All right, that's all I had for this video on why inflammation occurs in the body. If you do have questions about anything in this video, drop it in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer your question. We'll see you next time.